Every year, as we dive into the new school year, I get questions from panicking parents about curriculum. I'm always met with even more panic when I tell them that we don't follow any specific curriculum, but rather follow our hearts for each subject. This past school year, we attempted the read-aloud method for every single subject. We truly weren't sure what to expect or whether it would work for us, but we ended up loving it. As we begin yet another beautiful year, I want to share my favorite investments, specifically some of our favorite reading resources and books for each subject. You may have heard me say that I believe that children are divinely created with the innate ability to learn simply by being given opportunities to do so. It has been really interesting seeing how this idea works with a subject like language arts. I remember spending months and maybe even years in elementary school learning parts of speech, punctuation, spelling, etc. What I'm finding with my own children is that after we've had one conversation about such things and maybe learned a song explaining the concept, as long as they're able to see examples in their life every day, they will remember. So the most important thing for me on the topic of language arts, and truly for every single subject, is that they become confident in their ability to read. Fostering a love of reading will naturally teach sentence structure, vocabulary, spelling, and punctuation. So we prioritize reading out loud, narrating, and personal reading time. At around 8 years old, we start writing stories and editing them together, so we can determine together which skills need support. This has really worked well for us. In order to teach the kids to become strong readers, to prepare them for this method, we've invested in products like the Gather Letter Mat, where we work on matching letters and learning their sounds. Once that skill is mastered, we move on to the spinning reading blocks. They keep learning fun, but straightforward. Once we get the spinning blocks down, we move right into Bob books. When our oldest was learning to read, my mom gifted us all of the Dick and Jane books, so those were the first chapter books each of my littles started reading. These books are especially great because they use repetition to solidify reading skills and create confident readers. After we finish all the Dick and Jane books, we begin the Magic Treehouse series. We use the I read, you read method, where we take turns reading. I love how this teaches things like vocal variation and pronunciation. Today, every time my 7-year-old sees quotation marks, she creates a voice for the person speaking. Some of them even have foreign accents. We let our kids choose how many Magic Treehouse books they want to read before they move into their own world of reading. Sarah Mackenzie, who wrote The Read-Aloud Family, says that there's no such thing as books that aren't educational. While Charlotte Mason, who I absolutely respect, classified some books as twaddle, what Sarah said feels true to me. We have found that one of the best ways to instill a love of reading in our children is to allow them to read what they feel drawn to. Reading stops being a chore and becomes an adventure to look forward to. Once the confidence is developed, they will naturally begin to seek out books in every subject. We also listen to an outrageous amount of audiobooks. Sarah Mackenzie also says that audiobooks are an excellent way for young readers to develop skills as they teach new vocabulary, sentence structure, and vocal variation. Each of our littles has a set of headphones where they listen to their audiobook of choice while they do household jobs each day. And we also have a family audiobook that we listen to while we groom our Angoras or do puzzles. In the earliest years, we rarely, never, sit and try to learn math. Each of my children were introduced to the concept of math through cooking, earning and exchanging money, and games. When our littlest was 2, she was unknowingly doing division as she distributed equal amounts of cookies to each of her siblings. Math is not made up of opinions, but facts. Math is truth, and we are born knowing truth. We have found that the less we push, the more they learn. We love the Life of Fred books for our math read-aloud. They teach math concepts through story and humor and solidify math facts through memorization, but also take the time to explain the concepts. Life of Fred goes all the way up through calculus. The early years of social studies were filled with local adventures, orienteering, map making, and songs about the continents, countries, habitats, states, oceans, and cultures. Social studies has become our favorite read-aloud subject this year. After years of listening to reviews praising the Tuttle twins, we finally dove in. We read a book each week, completed the included activities, and wrote a paper on the book's topic each Friday. We all learned and grew so much from the experience and are planning on continuing with the Tuttle Twins American History books for the coming year. We love the simplicity of the stories, while they also teach complex truths and concepts. This year, we chose the elementary series, but there's also a toddler series and 2 series for teens. We consider our entire life to be science. We breed rabbits, witness their birth, and watch them grow. We plant flower and vegetable seeds and watch how sunshine and water encourage life. We make fertilizer from chicken, duck, and rabbit manure. This year, we watched a house finch build her nest and lay 4 beautiful speckled blue eggs and observed them for 2 weeks until they hatched one by one. We saved one of the babies when it fell out of the nest and then watched all 4 babies grow big enough to leave the nest. We witnessed the life cycle of bugs as they lay eggs in our garden and grow to maturity, and watch as butterflies and bees excitedly visit our blooms. We use the Herb Fairies book series to study backyard herbs and herbal medicine in great detail and make teas, tinctures, and poultices for healing. This coming year, we'll be studying mushrooms. We also love the Big Book series for science. They have a book for everything. I wasn't totally certain whether we would love the read-aloud method for every single subject, but we absolutely do. We've had such a beautiful time learning so much through stories this past year. I can truly say that we've never learned so much in a year, and I really believe that the method we used will allow us to retain the information in a significant way. It is so hard to know what will work for your family, but I hope that you know that what you're doing is enough, and your way doesn't ever have to look like anybody else's for it to be right.